In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you one of my Poshmark listing critiques. I love doing these because I get to review a listing specifically for someone and then share with all of you on the channel action items that they can do to improve this listing. And the goal is to get this item to sell faster, and to sell for more money based on all of these action items and tips that I come up with and share. And so I hope that not only the person getting the listing critique benefits, but all of you benefit as well. Download your free reseller resource guide today. I constantly update and share with you discounts, favorites, tools, and resources to help you with your reselling business. After the video, click the link in the description and get your totally free guide today. Hi Laura, thank you so much for following along on my journey on Instagram and YouTube and for kind of participating in this Poshmark listing critique giveaway. I do appreciate you. Thank you so much for sending me your listing. I look forward to reviewing it. And yeah, I just wanted to say thank you so much before I get started. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna go over a bunch of different things with regards to your photos, your title, your description, your price, all of that. So I hope that you get some great action items out of it, and I hope that it is helpful for you to get this item to sell, and you can also take those tips and apply them to other listings that you have. So thank you so much. Okay, let's dive in. So this Poshmark listing critique is for Laura, and she has submitted a vintage 90s Polo Ralph Lauren 100% cotton Harrington full zip salmon pink jacket XL. So I can already tell we've got a good title going so far, but I like to start with the photos first because that is kind of like your first line of defense with a customer. This is the first impression that they're going to get. And so I have a lot of things to say about this cover photo here. This may be the best that you can do, and if it is, that shouldn't prevent you from selling. But if this is the best you can do, there are many things we can do to elevate this to help you get your items to sell. Because oftentimes when people see these kinds of photos in comparison to other photos that are better, they just kind of gloss over these. And so the only people that you may really be getting attention from is somebody looking for a very specific item if there's not a lot of like competition out there, or maybe you happen to be the cheapest out there. And so they feel like because you didn't do such a great job with your cover photo, they can take advantage of you and lowball you and stuff like that. So I think that if you showcase your item in the best possible way in comparison to others, you have the best chance of getting your item sold and getting it sold for a higher value and faster. So those are my goals for you. And so I think that you have a nice item here, and it's in front of this curtain, tablecloth, whatever it is. And I don't think that does it any favors. So I think that it's also off center. And I think that you're using daylight lighting, but you can tell that, it's kind of shadowy and not really like a full bright photo. So I think you really need to decide if you can afford to get some lighting so that you have daylight lights flooding that item from two sides onto the item. And that's what gives you that best bright photo that really showcases all of the detail work of an item and just showcases it in the best light, literally. So I would highly recommend, if you are in the position to invest in some lighting, that you get the lighting. I also think that the background is not good. So I think just putting it up against a wall, even if it's not white, is okay. I think putting it up against a wall that has just white paper taped to the wall is okay. That's what I have. I mean, I use professional photo backdrop paper. I'm looking at it now like it's taped to my wall. And that's what I've used for years. And I've used the same paper for years. And so the investment in that professional photo backdrop paper was worth it. But even if you just put up foam core that you got at the dollar store, poster board, that would even be better because it's a nice white clear background, not with all of this. Like, this makes it look old, and I know you're selling a vintage item, but still, you don't want it to look like it's just out of like an attic somewhere. Like, you still want it to look like a shopping experience, like a professionally showcased item. And so in my personal opinion, I think you have a missed opportunity by not having a clear white background and by not having bright lights on it. You can also brighten your photos with an app called Pick Tap Go, which is what I use. And so that does help with it, But if it's not bright to begin with when you take the photo, the app can only do so much. You can also do photo room to remove your background or Canva to remove your background, and that's fine. But if it's not bright, when you remove the background and you put a dark item on top of a removed background, then it's a big comparison between that stark white removed background and the dark photo of the item. So my favorite is more of a natural look, which is really bright on the item, but just a plain white background and not taking out the photo backdrop. So that is my preference and what I recommend to people. That's your cover photo. So I think you should put your work into that. So here we're showing the detail of the polo thing. We've got our neckline. We've got the tags, polo. And then the numbers. We've got the sleeve cuff. We've got more cuff with some wear, it looks like perhaps, and then the back. So what I try to say is that you want to have the item or the photos that you take tell a story of the item. And so for me, when I take the photo, I try to show it in a way that will say, this is the story in a natural progression from beginning to end of this item's story. And I don't know if that really conveys to everyone, but I feel like my photos show the item in context. And so when you start with like the overall front, that's great. Then I would go to the neckline. Then I would go to the tag and the other tag. Then I would do, a close-up over here that you have of the polo. You didn't really take a photo of like the top half or the bottom half. You just zeroed in on certain details. I always think it's important to show the top half and the bottom half in a more close-up than the full view, but not as close as a detail view, so they get some context for the item. So they know where the detail is in relation to where it is on the item. If you're showing them up close something, they can then refer back to the other photo to see where that is on the item. If you just skip to all of these detailed shots, then I don't know where this is on the item. Is this the same sleeve? Is this a different sleeve? Is this the left one or the right one? And in certain situations, that might be important to them. I don't know if it would in this item, but especially if you're showing wear, that could be important. So I think that you're missing some opportunities with the photos that you're taking, and then the back is fine. Now, I don't see any tags. So you're telling me that it's 100% cotton, and that's fine, but then you don't show me that in the tag. And so it's good to have it in your listing, but I also think it should be verified in the tag. So I think having some extra tag photos could be helpful as well. And for like the wash care of it all too. So that's what I think about the photos. I want to make you aware of the hottest, the best deal I have ever offered in my Rebecca the Reseller Academy. To find it, all you have to do is scroll all the way down to the bottom and you will find this right here. Hot deal, best value, all courses and digital downloads for life. This is it, friends. This is as good as it's going to get. I'm giving you everything I have in my academy, all the digital downloads, all the courses for just $20. The best part is if I create a new digital download going forward, you will get it absolutely free. This is the time to lock in the best deal I have ever offered. All you have to do is go to Rebecca the Reseller Academy, scroll down to Hot Deal, and purchase it for $20. If you're wondering what comes in this, it's everything. So you're going to get all of my courses, and you're also going to get all of the digital downloads that I've created, including my keywords list, my listing forms, my Poshmark closet signs, everything that I have created, and everything that I ever will create will be yours for literally $20. So vintage VTG is fine. 90s Polo Ralph Lauren, 100% cotton. Harrington full zip salmon pink jacket. So I think the title's great. I think you hit on everything you need to hit on. That would be the exact title that I do. You've got your 100% cotton. You've got what it is. It's a jacket. It's salmon pink. You've got the size. You've got full zip. So yes to all of that. That's great. Then you've got the same thing in the description. And then we say in good pre-owned condition. No rips, holes, or stains. So I don't usually mention no rips, holes, or stains because I feel like it just kind of like brings up things that you don't need to bring up, even though you're telling them that there isn't any of that. I feel like I just don't like to bring it up. So I say with no flaws. So I say in excellent pre-owned condition with no flaws. Now, you're saying it's in good pre-owned condition. And so I don't know what that means, because to me, when I'm looking at this and you're showing me the cuffs, I feel like you're showing me the wear on the cuffs. It could just be the way my computer is showing, like it could just be the way I'm looking at it. But it looks to me like it's dirty-ish, has wear to it. So if you're not going to note that, and then you're going to say it's in good condition, now I'm a little bit confused, because you're saying there's no stains, which could be accurate, but is there wear? Is there not wear? So I know this is a vintage item, and some things are different with vintage items. I don't really sell vintage, so I'm aware of it, but I don't really participate in it. So for me, when I list a regular item, I'm saying it's in excellent condition, excellent pre-owned condition with no flaws. So I'm saying there's no flaws, and I'm saying it's in excellent condition. You might not be able to say it's in excellent condition because by default it's vintage, therefore not excellent condition, perhaps. And so I don't know how you want to resolve that, but as a potential buyer, I'm not loving the confidence level that I have in the condition based on the photos, vis-a-vis your description. So I think that you need to either show the photos a little bit better, or you need to make some additional notes in your description that tell me about what I think I'm seeing with the photos. I hope that makes sense. Yes, and then approximate measurements, pit to pit. I don't love pit to pit. I say armpit to armpit or chest laying flat. It's just a personal thing. Sleeve, shoulders, length. So you've got all your descriptions in there, or for your measurements, that's fine. I like to put them in the photos. You don't have to, but it does save time. If you don't want to, that's fine. Now, in terms of other keywords that could help you get this sold, there might be other keywords for this type of jacket. I don't know, like, is it a casual jacket? Is it like outerwear? I would put other words for the color. So I usually interchange salmon and coral because I feel like a lot of times they're similar and people don't really know the difference. And so they might say both words. So I would put coral because I use that with salmon. You've got full zip, you've got con. So maybe like spring jacket or lightweight jacket. If it's, perhaps wrinkle resistant or something like that, you could put travel jacket or wrinkle resistant or packable. Those are kinds of things that I look into when it's a jacket, because sometimes people want those kinds of things in a jacket. And they like to know, is it warm or is it lightweight or is it a spring jacket? That kind of stuff. You might want to put other occasions, preppy, things like that. So I would kind of look at, especially if you're going to sell other things related to this, like if you're a vintage seller and so you're selling other things that are kind of similar, you may want to do a deep dive into some other similar items and see what people are saying on their listings for these kinds of items that are either available or have sold, so that you can just kind of build up your wealth of keyword knowledge for similar items. This is not an item that I would pick up and sell. So for me, it's, I less have like readily available words for it, but just some of the ones that I mentioned, I think would really expand the ability for your item to come up in searches and more searches. So I think expanding the colors and expanding the details about the jacket would be really helpful. Posher VA is a tax-deductible business investment that pays for itself many times over each month. It increases Poshmark sales because it shares and sends offers more than I ever could manually. It handles all my shares, automatic offer to likers, bulk offers, and it can do price drops and relists. When my coaching clients add Posher VA, it makes more sales basically immediately. The best part is that you get your time back. More time with family, thrifting, whatever. Get 20% off with code Rebecca the Reseller and the link below. And then you have men, jackets and coats, bomber and varsity. So I don't sell a lot of men's, so I don't know off the top of my head what all of the filters are or categories are, and I guess that's technically a subcategory. So I would refer to them a little bit more and see, because I don't really think that this is a bomber jacket, and it's not a varsity jacket. I don't know what the other options are, but you put yourself into a hole when you add that subcategory. So you might want to just leave it as men, jackets, and coats, rely on your keywords for additional search help rather than pigeonholing yourself into this filter, because then you're not going to come up if someone selects a different subcategory from this. So I think that might be helpful too. As far as the price, we don't have a retail price on there. You could always go in and try to estimate it based on other solds that might have been new with tags, things like that, or just kind of see if like most people are saying it's $348 or $299 or whatever, then you can put that. You have it listed for $85. Again, I don't do a lot of vintage, but I feel like Polo Ralph Lauren is a pretty expensive brand. I sell it for women's and it's expensive. So the fact that it's vintage and normally it's an expensive brand, I don't think it's out of the realm off the top of my head that $85 would be a terrible price. I don't know. You need to check because again, there is a lot of this out there. So I would do a comp check if you can on men's. And then why don't you have it listed as Polo? Because I'm pretty sure Polo has its own brand option. I would check that, but it should have its own brand option. So I would accurately describe it with the brand there. And then I would do a comp search to see if you could get an idea of if 85 is reasonable, and then match that against what your normal sales generating activities are. And if you give ridiculously high offers and you want to keep a high price to account for that, then that's fine. But if you don't give out ridiculously high offers and you have a high price, you might be out of the market. So plus you're going to show up in $50 to $100 category, which isn't the worst thing for a jacket. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not opposed to this price, but I would quantify that if you haven't already. So yeah, I think that you're on the right track. Like I said, I think your title is really good, and I think you're trying to do the right thing with the photos, but I think we've missed the mark with the cover photo. And I think there's a lot more opportunities for some additional keywords and your condition description. And then the other thing is you may want to add a buyer confidence line at the end, which is something that I always recommend. Mine says offers welcome, professional seller, ship same next day, things like that, so that it just gives the buyer some more confidence about what it's like to do business with you and set you apart from the 10 other people that have this similar jacket. So those are all of the thoughts that I have for you in this Poshmark listing critique. I really hope you get this item sold, and I hope that some of the things that I brought up for this item will help you and you can apply it to other items in your Poshmark closet. So thanks again for participating. The other thing I will say to you is that when I send you the email with the link to this video, it will also ask you if you think that this video was helpful to you, if you're getting value and you think that the action items and tips that I've suggested here are going to be helpful to you in getting this item sold. I would love it if you sent me back a short little testimonial, 1 or 2 sentences that tells me what you thought about the listing critique. That would be really helpful to me. And then I will go ahead and offer you a coupon code that you can use in my academy. Thanks so much. I appreciate you, and I will see you next time. Bye. Thank you so much for watching today's Poshmark listing critique. I hope that you got something out of this that you can apply to your own Poshmark listing so that you can help your items sell faster, sell for more money, and just sell. If you're interested in getting a Poshmark listing critique for yourself, I would love to do that for you. In the description is the link to my Rebecca the Reseller resource guide, which is free. And in that document, you'll find the link to my academy, and you can get your Poshmark listing critique there. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.